Welcome to AI ConvoCast, where we bring you the latest in AI and tech innovation. Please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Let's jump right in.
Today, we will be covering OpenAI bringing Codex Computer Use to Windows, the GitHub Copilot token billing backlash hitting right before the June 1st switch, Nvidia and Microsoft teasing the first Nvidia-powered Windows AI PCs, and the U.S. moving to block advanced AI chip shipments to Chinese firms operating offshore. Starting with OpenAI. On May 29th, the Codex release notes confirmed that Codex now supports computer use on Windows directly inside the Codex app. In plain terms, that means Codex can now see, click, and type its way through Windows applications while you're testing, debugging, or refining a project. It's a real jump from being a code assistant to being something closer to a PC operator. The same update layered in remote steering, so your Windows machine can host the files, the shell, the app server, and all your local context while you check in or redirect the work from ChatGPT on iOS, Android, or Codex on a Mac. OpenAI also rolled out Codex profiles, which surface activity, usage stats, and token activity in one place. The catch is that the rollout isn't clean yet. The feature isn't available at launch in the EEA, the UK, or Switzerland. And on GitHub, developers filed issues on the 29th and 30th, flagging Windows Sandbox permission errors and cases where the computer use files were sitting right there on disk, but the feature gates were still returning disabled. Over on the Codex and Codex Automation subreddits, you've got a mix of genuine excitement and people swapping workarounds for post-update breakage. The pitch is great: see, click, and type inside Windows. But if you're a Windows-heavy enterprise developer who's been waiting for parity with the Mac rollout, you're going to want to give it a few patch cycles. Next, GitHub Copilot. TechCrunch ran a piece on May 30th with the blunt headline, quote, "What a joke," capturing developer reaction to Copilot's shift from flat subscription-style usage to token and AI credit-based billing. That switch goes live June 1st. GitHub's May 12th update introduced flex allotments for Pro and Pro Plus tiers and added a new high-volume Max plan aimed at heavy users. GitHub says base credits are matched one-to-one with the subscription price, and the flex allotments are designed to adapt as AI economics shift around. The pushback is really about predictability. Long agent runs, high reasoning models, and automated PR review pipelines burn through compute in ways nobody can reliably forecast month to month. Community threads are full of complaints about missing user-level budget controls, surprise preview bills, and confusion about which models you actually get access to on which plan. GitHub's own framing nods to it, saying, "We've heard your questions about whether the included usage will actually go far enough." The bigger story here is that the $10 a month coding assistant mental model is breaking down under the weight of agentic workflows. OpenAI, Anthropic, and xAI are all dealing with the same pricing tension on their own agent products, and Copilot is just the first one to take the heat publicly. On to hardware. Axios reported on May 30th that Nvidia and Microsoft plan to unveil their joint work and the first Windows PCs running Nvidia chips at Computex in Taiwan and at Microsoft Build in San Francisco this coming week. Tom's Hardware and Windows Central both clocked coordinated teasers from the two companies using the phrase "a new era of PC" with Taipei coordinates attached. The rumor mill is pointing at N1X-style Windows-on-Arm systems. This matters because Microsoft's first AI PC push, the Copilot Plus launch, landed with more marketing than muscle. Nvidia jumping into the client chip game gives Windows on ARM and local AI workloads a much more credible performance story, since Nvidia's AI reputation has, up to now, lived almost entirely in the data center. If these systems are real, the conversation around AI PCs could shift away from Copilot branding and toward concrete things like local model inference, better battery life on AI workloads, and GPU-accelerated agent tasks running right on your laptop. Reaction on NVIDIA community forums has been speculative but genuinely enthusiastic, with a lot of focus on whether Nvidia can finally make ARM Windows feel like a first-class platform. The open question for listeners is simple. Is this the AI PC people were actually promised, or another reset of the same pitch? Finally, compute geopolitics. On May 31st, Reuters reporting carried by Investing.com and republished by SCMP said the U.S. Commerce Department has moved to close a loophole that may have allowed advanced Nvidia and AMD AI chips to reach Chinese entities operating outside mainland China. The reporting specifically names Nvidia's Rubin and Blackwell processors and AMD's MI350X as the class of chips in scope. The first item hit at 4:09 p.m. Eastern, with a follow-up 10 minutes later. The significance is that Washington is no longer just policing direct shipments into China. It's now going after offshore affiliates, subsidiaries, and the routing paths that let restricted hardware quietly reach the same end users through a different address. Frontier AI capability lives and dies on access to dense accelerator clusters, so tightening that net has real consequences for how Chinese labs scale their training runs, and it forces every major lab and cloud provider to revisit assumptions about where their chips ultimately end up. For Nvidia and AMD, it adds another layer of compliance friction on top of an already complicated export regime, right as Blackwell and Rubin-class hardware is becoming the center of gravity for the next wave of frontier model training.
Thank you for listening to AI Convo Cast. Please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Thanks and hope to see you again next time.